Hello, boys. How are you doing? Now, do you ever judge yourself that you're not successful enough? Like maybe it's because you weren't clever enough or capable enough or smart enough, and that's why you didn't do the thing that you wanted to do or that you always dreamt of doing. I don't know about you, but I used to judge myself very much actually about not making enough money, not being successful enough, not being thin enough, not being anything enough actually. So I'm talking to you here from very personal lived experience about that. Not good enough at playing the guitar, not this, not that. And if I'd applied myself to one thing, then I could have, like if I'd have carried on being a web designer, right, which I was doing in the 2000s, I would be the monster, like designer, creative boss bitch by now. For example, like that was just one of my, if only I had been something enough, then da-di-da-di-da. So if you do, or if you did ever judge yourself about that, or just sit and make yourself wrong, then don't. Because why? Because there's nothing wrong with you. You are not broken and you are not a problem to fix. You don't necessarily need improving or learning new stuff to be more perfect or more capable or more good enough. Because there ain't nothing wrong with you, boy. There's like, that's just my American voice that just comes through with this whole thing because of the telly, you know. But there's nothing wrong with you, and it's not you. It's not me, darling. No, how's it go? It's not you, it's me. No, that's a different conversation. So it's not you, it's the system, it's the structure. So success is not personal, it's structural. So what does that mean? So as I was saying in the other video before this one about dream work makes the team work. So, okay, so if you have a successful team, or if you're the team with you and your project, it's good to have your motivation and all of that stuff. But even still, even if, following on from that, even if you've got the most perfect mindset, the most perfect attitude, the best catitude, the best like morning routine, your millionaire morning routine, even if you're doing all that stuff, you may not get the results and the success that you want or that you know that you can get. Annoying, isn't it? Yes or no? But that's not the problem, because you're not the problem, and you're not the problem that needs to be fixed at all. So what do I mean by success is not personal to you? It's nothing you're doing right or wrong or flip-flop or indifferent or whatever. It's structural. So the structure simply means that the way that your environment and the things that you do are configured, that's what creates the success or the result. Any result at all. It could be a bad result or a good result. But the result is dependent on the framework. Now, I'm going to explain that using a metaphor that you may appreciate. So imagine that there is a valley. There's a valley like this, and down the middle of the valley, down the middle of the valley, oh, that's a difficult move for my hands. Down the middle of the valley runs a load of water. So I'm just going to pretend that little tube there is water running down the valley. Okay? So the valley itself here is a structure, and the water runs down the valley along the path of least resistance. So no matter what the properties of the water is, no matter how positive the water is, no matter how good a mindset the water has got, no matter what colour the water is, no matter how heavy or light the water is, and no matter if the water's got whistles and bells and glitter in it, even gold bits, gold leaf in it or not, it will still always run down the middle of the valley from top to bottom, won't it? Is that true? Do you agree with me? Just because of gravity. It just will. it will always run down. I just wonder if I can explain it. There you go. The thing's always going to go down the slide from top to bottom. Look, like that. It's always going to go down that bit. So that's what I mean by structure. So according to how you structure, or the default structure is there, the course of action will always go down more or less the same pathway. Now tell me, does that make sense? Yes or no? If it does, please put a 1 in the chat box. If it doesn't, put a 2, because I would love to have your feedback. Then I can speak more in a way that's more useful, makes more sense. So what does that mean with you and your successful results? Okay, so all you need to know is this, right? This is so good. This is going to work with anything, with business success, with personal success, with a big project, with a small project. The same thing always happens because it's a principle of physics. Energy or water or actions will always go down the path of least resistance. The mermaid is now going to demonstrate that for you. Right, mermaid, are you ready? Ready, Teddy, go. There you go. See, it always works. So it doesn't matter. So please do not, or I ask you to not judge yourself as bad or wrong or incapable or not clever enough or bad things if you're not getting the results, like I wasn't before, because it's not your fault. It's just the structure. So the burning question obviously is, well, Maria, how do I change it so that I can get my results? Is that what you're asking? Give me a 1 if that's a yes, or a 2 if that's a, I don't know what you're talking about, girl, but it's interesting, or whatever. So what you do then, imagine, so what would you do? What would you do if you want the water to go down a different pathway? What would you do? Would you restructure it? So you'd dig up the earth, you'd dig it up, and you'd put a little something, a little channel, a little canal, and divert. You could make a diversion, or you can make a little loop. And then, if you did that, or if you're a landscape gardener, or if you're a builder, all you need to do is build a slightly different pathway, or a very different pathway, and then guess what's going to happen? That thing that you're shooting down it is going to go down a different pathway. It's still going to be the path of least resistance. It's still going to be, your results are not your fault. They're not. So I'm just going to interrupt what I was saying. I'm going to answer that question. So it's still going to give or take. You're going to have some good results, and then it's going to oscillate. I'm going to do that in the next video because I don't want to overload you with this. It's too much information. If you change your structure, your results will change. Therefore, results, or the results that you don't want, are not your fault. What do you think? What do you think? If you apply this theory, which is a law of physics, which applies to not just water going down the riverbank or the valley, it applies to everything. You could say, whatever actions you put, doesn't matter how positive or amazing or fit or gorgeous or how much glitter, they're going to run down the same pathway. Yes or no? You tell me. So all you need to do, and I'm setting the scene here, this is a journey so that you start to think in a different way. So you start to think with the principles of nature, with the principles of physics, so that you can see, like I did, oh yeah, no wonder I never got any results. No wonder I didn't get sales. No wonder I didn't get the success that I tried so hard for so many years and decades to get. That makes perfect sense. Now that I see it in this way, this is what I realised. That's why I'm so excited, because it wasn't my fault. It wasn't that I was being a bleep or any of those bleeps. And I argue, I wonder if you were thinking the same thing. So no, it's not your fault. And what you can do instead is what I'm going to talk about in the next video, is how actually do you restructure your pathway so that you get consistent, predictably good results, the results that you want, because that's what happens. That's what happens. And how can I say that with so much certainty? Because I'm living that reality. I have restructured 3 major areas of my life, and they are working like a boss. Okay, I have taken this theory, I've taken this principle, I've test driven it on myself, and it works like a boss. And every day, not only that, every day it gathers more momentum. So every day, imagine the valley again. So every day it then gets a little bit steeper and easier for the water to run down it. What do I mean by the water? So in the metaphor of the water simply means the daily actions that I take relative to my end result, relative to the project, the outcome I want to create. The actions that I take every day are easier, more motivated, more exciting, and things that were so difficult, like for example, some real bonkers difficult tech thing, such as how do I record my audios without the fuzz and the buzz and the this and the that and that. Like, because I'm in the path of least resistance, which by the way is what they mean by flow state, because I'm in that pathway for all of my end results that I'm creating, everything's just easy and fun and gets done a lot quicker. So in organizations, my LinkedIn business boys, if you're listening to this, if you restructure your team dynamics and your company outcomes and your goals relative to the last video, Dream Work Makes the Team Work, if you restructure such that everyone is looking one direction, it works like a boss, like you have no idea, like a dream, like it snowballs. It snowballs. So I'm seeing results in me and in the clients that I am showing how to do this. I'm seeing their results snowball. And this is radically different to legacy, perhaps traditional coaching that teaches people and guides people how to problem solve and make better and improve and make the mindset better and more positive and more confident, but they're just working with changing all the properties of the water. And with all due respect, the water is still going to run down the path of least resistance, isn't it? Yes or no? Give me a 1 in the comments if you agree with that, and a 2 if you don't, or if that doesn't make sense, so that I can address it tomorrow. Thank you so much. That's it for now. I just want to leave you with the message that you're doing nothing wrong, actually. And there's nothing wrong with you. You are not a problem that needs fixing. The only thing that can be restructured is where you are going to. Once you get clear on that, and that takes quite some crafting actually, once you get clear on going towards what lights you up, what you like, what you enjoy, and let's just go crazy, what you love, then it will flow. And everything else, yes, I know you've got to pay for the bills and the mortgage and the electric and all the rest of it, and that, according to the same law of least resistance, that reorganizes. That also comes into that magnetic alignment of taking your daily actions towards what you want. Thank you so much. Let me know if this has given you value, and if so, I ask and I request that you like and comment, even if it's a number 1, but just any comment is going to really serve the algorithm. And please share this with other men that you feel it will benefit. If you feel that this will benefit anyone at all, this is for everyone, actually. I'm just specifically here to show men some tips and tricks, because that is what I'm passionate about, as you can see by my enthusiasm. Yay, and I'm coming up to my 15-minute LinkedIn limit now, so I'm going to go. But bye for now. Link in the comment if you want to have a chat with me. Ciao, babes.